This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com. What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHocks42 on the internet, and today we have another Brawl deck, and this is featuring one of the Lord of the Rings commanders, one of my personal favorites in Tom Bombadil. Now, it's funny, this is a character from the books that I didn't really enjoy all that much, if I'm honest. Like, he's kind of a fun thought experiment, but I don't know, when I spent time with him, I found him a little tedious. Well, part of the reason that I found him tedious in the books is because he is always telling stories and always rhyming. There's always a song or a poem that he is just kind of going on about. And when you're trying to read through a story, you're like, all right, I get it, can we please move on? Well, they captured that in this card in a mechanical way that is just fantastic. Just the flavor is A+. And on a Magic card, he doesn't take up as much of my time, and I enjoy him very much. So the way that this works is if you have 4 or more lore counters among sagas you control, he has hexproof and indestructible. So once he's on a roll, if he's telling some stories, you can't stop him. And then whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, you reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga. You put that into play and the rest on the bottom in a random order. Unfortunately, that ability only triggers once per turn, but all the same, the effect is, once you get to the end of a saga, you just immediately spin to the next one, which, as a storyteller who is constantly going, it makes a lot of sense. So naturally, this deck is loaded with sagas. We just have so many just absolutely bananas crazy sagas. So we have things like the World Spell, Kioribes the Sea God, the Kami War, and Waking the Trolls as like our top end. These are the ones that we're really hoping to spin into. If we can get our hands on these off of a Bombadil trigger, we're doing just fine. The amount of value we're getting off that is absolutely insane. We also have a number of sagas that are capable of reanimating targets because we can reanimate Tom Bombadil from our graveyard, bring him to the battlefield, and then he will trigger. So if he dies at one point, we may want to leave him in the graveyard if we have access to one of these sagas. And those are Elspeth Conquers Death, The Eldest Reborn, and Cruelty of Gix. All of which can pull him out of the graveyard, which is pretty freaking sweet. Other than that, we have a lot of just good value sagas. We got Showdown of the Skulls, Binding the Old Gods, Fjord's Retribution, A Crowan War, Elder Dragon War. I mean, a lot of the go-tos are in here. One thing of note, we also do have a Sika God of the Tree. I want to call this out. This is not a low-power Brawl deck, so if you're jamming with your friends, be aware of that. This thing's got some heat to it. We have a Sika God of the Tree, aka the Prismatic Bridge. We also have a Traxa Praetor's Voice. These are cards that are I don't know, triggering's not quite the right word, but like in casual environments, people are not happy to see these. So be aware of that. Asika is primarily here to be a mana dork, is primarily here to ramp us, but at the same time, if you get to turn 5 or 6 and you have the Prismatic Bridge in hand and our mana's fixed in a way that allows us to cast it, it's usually correct to run it out, and because the amount of value you're going to be getting turn over turn off that is insane. And as we discussed, we have some really crazy top end things to go grab with it. So like I said too, we have some reanimator shenanigans, not a little bit of synergy, not a ton, but it's there. We also have Sheoldred, self-titled. She's removal, and she can also flip into a saga, which is kind of fun. We also have a one of Toxtrol the Corrosive. This is here for a couple of reasons. On the one hand, we have a number of proliferate effects, and so being able to proliferate the slime counters is truly disgusting. We also have the Reanimator package and the many free spins like the World Spell or Priz Bridge. So if we can get Toxtrol onto the field, great. And honestly, if Tox is online, your opponent has to answer it or they're probably just done for. What else we got? As far as the cheap stuff goes, we do have a number of smaller sagas as well, which is a little bit problematic, to be honest. But without them, the chances of us really getting to our top-end engine become significantly weaker. So we have things like the Fall of Gil-galad. We have, Azuz's Many Journeys. We even have the long list of the Ents in here. Now, the reason that we have these cheaper sagas is so that we have sagas on the field that are giving us some value in the early game, many of which will help us ramp or draw us cards so that we can progress with our game plan, but also that allows us to get some sagas on the field before Tom Bombadil arrives. That way, if they're already here, the chances of him having indestructible and hexproof are much higher, and the chances of one upticking to that final chapter, the turn that he arrives or the turn after in many cases, is much higher. So that's good. Long List of the Ents, it's funny actually, this is one of those cards where I don't have this in here because I want to put +1/+1 counters on my creatures. That's not the point. The reason that we have Long List of the Ents is that it gets up to 6 lore counters. Meaning that if once it has 4 lore counters on it, if the Long List of the Ents is around, Tommy's just indestructible. He just is. And that's pretty darn sweet. So that said, though, if it's late in the game and we get to the final chapter of one of our other sagas and Tom Bombadil triggers and we spin into a long list of the ends, that's gonna hurt unless we have some other sagas going to try to get the value train rolling. So that's kind of the downside of running some of these cheaper sagas, is that we can spin into them in the late game when we're trying to like deliver the kill shot and we just need some power, and then we get one of those little dirtlers and it's just kind of like, well, that's not really helping me at all. But that's okay. That is what it is. Another one that I want to call out, in every single deck where Tom Bombadil is present, Fable the Mirror Breaker is usually the best card. This thing got banned in Standard for a reason. It is an absolute house and a half. If you're starting, honestly, if you're looking at a starting 7 with this deck and you see 2 lands, if you see a Fable and one of those lands is red, it's usually correct to keep it, believe it or not, because if Fable can stick, it leads into a much earlier Tom Bombadil because of the treasure token. It smooths out your hand, and once that triggers level 3, you get value by triggering Tom. So it's just... the card's insane, and it lines up with this commander especially well. Like, it didn't need any help to be better, and it found it anyway. So yeah, so that's the deck. At the end of the day, it is value sagas start to finish. That is what we're doing. That's the name of the game. And we do have some other proliferation effects like experimental augury in the mix, because if we can proliferate a saga to the final chapter, even on our opponent's turn, Tom Bombadil will trigger. And that's pretty fantastic. So if we can have Tom Bombadil live, one of our sagas triggers, and we have another that's on like 2 out of 3 lore counters, if we pass to our opponent's turn and then cast experimental augury, proliferate it up, Bombadil will trigger again. So that's pretty freaking sweet when that lines up. So be aware of those kinds of things and make sure that you're taking advantage when those arrive. So let's run this thing out into the Brawl queue, see if we can get a couple wins, and see what happens. All right, our opponent is on Sméagol, Helpful Guide. We've got 3 lands and an Elvish Mystic in the opener. This looks dope. I am absolutely keeping this. So we can shock in the breeding pool. This gives us access to the Mystic right on time, which feels pretty good. And then next turn, we can throw it on the Plaza of Heroes, have Satsuki, and one open. So I'm not mad at that. Now, the King Narfi's Betrayal is kind of a dead card in our hand right now, which is a little bit of a bummer, but not the end of the world. Kioribus the Sea God is one of the strongest cards we have in the entire deck, so I'm not mad to see it. Now, do we prophecies, or do we Satsuki? I think I'm a Satsuki here, because we're gonna hit our land drop next turn, then we can get it for 1 damage here. Haha! So we're gonna hit our land drop no matter what next turn, because we have the Sundown Pass. So the Scries are nice, but not a huge deal right now. But yeah, Metamized Prophecy is next. Machiko's Reign of Truth is decent, but I definitely don't want to lead with it at this point. So let's Metamized Prophecy. I like Bears of Lidyara. I do. We definitely need those Steam Vents, though. That is 100% a slam dunk home run. Let's go. And then, actually, we can activate Satsuki here. Do you want to do that? And choose Machiko's Reign. Actually, wait a minute. That'll give us red. This is blue. This can be black. We got green. Do we have? We don't have. Well, we're still 1 shy of being able to get. No, I think we have Dom next turn, if I'm not mistaken. Tommy Bombs. You know what? I'm just gonna go for a little bit of early power. Let's throw Machiko's Reign of Truth down, buff up Satsuki, and punch for 3. I want to make sure I'm sequencing this right. I'm not confident I am, but that's okay. I think we'll be all right. All right. And now, unfortunately, these are actually both going to end at the same time now. All right, Sméagol in the house. All right. Let's buff up the Mystic. It doesn't matter. I don't think we're going to get any benefit off that, which is fine. So I'm going to choose a card name. I'm going to name Tommy. Let's go. All right, we're going to shock that in. Actually, wait a minute. I should have named Narfi. I missequenced this. Because now if I activate... Oh, wait a minute, though. Never mind. I can activate this. Because Metamized Prophecy has 4 lore counters on it. So this is gonna... So now this brings Metamized Prophecy to the next level, meaning that when we cast the spell, we draw 2 cards. so we get to do that. We now also have the Portrait of Machiko online, which is fine. Shipwreck March is great. I'm very happy to see that. So next turn, if Tommy survives, which is not a given, we're going up against Golgari. They got 4 mana open. We could be eating a Binding the Old Gods, I think Mortify. I don't know, you name it. Like Assassin's Trophy. There's so much removal they could hit us with right now. Mother flipping Nazgul in the house. That makes a lot of sense. If you're rocking a situation where the ring tempting you is a bonus, you definitely want the Nazgul in your deck. So, all right, they are deciding to take their turn to set up, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so lands abound. And we just spun into the frickin' Kami War? Let's get the Nazgul out of here. That was bananas. This stuff is bananas. All right, let's go ahead and everybody mill. I said a whole bunch of lands there. Wait a minute. We're gonna go ahead and hit this. Kami War bounces Sméagol, and they have to discard a card. And now all the cards that we just milled with King Narfi's Betrayal are online for this turn, and then they will be next turn as well, if I'm not mistaken. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from one card's exile. Oh, but we all milled lands. Never mind. So never mind. We're minimal value. All right, that's fine. I think we're on track. Oh wow, actually. Oh yeah, it's only creatures or planeswalkers. I should probably read my cards. Sagas have a lot going on, and I don't know them all. Assemble the team. That card is a house. It is just, let's just tutor. Yeah, it's only creatures and planeswalkers. So actually, no, King Narfi's Betrayal, and this is kind of weak, actually, now that I look at it. But that's okay. That's okay. We have Kiora Best of Sea God mana next turn. They got another Nazgul. Rock on, by all means. Bring it on out. Nazgul picking up the ring, as they often do. So King Narfi's Betrayal is going to trigger, but that triggers Tommy Boy. Let's see what we go grab. The Battle for Bretgard. Alright, I'm not mad at that. We can throw this. And then Kiora Best, the Mother Flippin' Sea God. Which, yeah. I'm a fan. So we're going to just supercharger Sagas. Swing for 8 here. The world is tapped, and Kiora Best of Sea God says that we get that Nazgul. So you can see the value explosion that just happened is unreal. Blood on the Snow is actually awesome. I can't even deny it. All right, but Tetsuki gives us an opportunity to grab any card, any saga from our graveyard and bring it back to hand. So Kami War seems like a good plan. And Tom Bombadil is indestructible, so he didn't go anywhere. And on top of that, because neither of us were playing particularly creature-heavy decks, there wasn't, they didn't have anything to reanimate. That and they only had 1 snow, so it actually wouldn't have mattered either. Anyway, yeah, so that was the Tom value explosion. That was exactly what we were looking for. So we're going up against Sauron, the mother flippin' Dark Lord. The Triomes look great here, so I'm going to keep them. Also, you may hear a little bit of thunder in the background. My windows are open because I am living in a situation where I don't currently have air conditioning. I love my situation. It's actually quite nice, but that is a bit of a downside, and it is very hot these days in July here in Michigan. So that's what's going on there. Apologies if that picks up any goofy sounds, but I'm not closing that window. You can't make me. All right, so we have the Llanowar Elves on turn 2 rather than turn 1, but we got double Triomes down that are capable of producing Golgari, which is nice. And then we have white and blue covered as well. And we have 2 red swords in our hand, so we're going to have the Dragon War and There and Back Again on time in our hand. Not to mention we have Chromatic Lantern just for good measure. So, yeah, yeah, we don't have Elder Dragon War this turn, unfortunately, because we don't have a second red. Honestly, I probably should, well, I don't know. I don't know that we need to. So let's throw that out. And I can throw Binding the Old Gods, targeting the Sigil. That said, they're playing Grixis, and they have 2 blue open. I have a sneaking suspicion whatever I cast here is not going to resolve. So I'm going to try to cast a Chromatic Lantern. I'm going to try to bait out that counter with the Chromatic Lantern. If they let this go through, which, of course, they don't. Yep. Saruman's Trickery, amassing 1. Sure, sure, sure. My thought is if they let that go through, then we could have tapped the Llanowar Elves and that for the Keldon Warcaller, which is not amazing, but it can help get the job done. So, why not? Diabolic Intent, sacking the Amass Army. Sure, that is a great use for an Amass Army. Can't deny it. All right. They're going to go find a thing. Anything. And because it can be anything, I don't even get to see it. By the way, if that's the thing. If you're ever curious, why do you have to reveal on some tutors and not others? Because in the physical game, it's really just a check to make sure you're not cheating. And so, like, for effects where it says, like, search your library for a basic land, put it into your hand, like, they'll let you, whenever you cast an answer, search spell deals one damage to each opponent. I really don't like that. You know, where it allows you to search up a certain type of permanent. You need to reveal it to your opponent to make to prove that that's all you grabbed. Yeah, I want to get rid of that inscription. That thing scares me, I'm not gonna lie. So we shall bind it. It, like the old gods, shall be bound. And that means we can fetch up another triome. That's gonna be a forest. I honestly don't know. We have double red now, so grabbing another triome that can produce red is kind of whatever. Man, our opponent is really on the Sauron theme. Rock and Shadow the enemy in here as well, and Saruman's trickery. I mean, rock on. Like, commit to it. Sauron's ransom, sure. Okay. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna do this. So look at the top 4 cards, separate them face down, face up. I'm not too worried about Gutter Snipe, and I'm gonna tease him with the double lands. Call of the Ring is the best card in the stack, or in the 4. So the choices are, take the 3 that you know, or the 1. I was trying to tantalize them with that 1, which honestly would have been worth it, but grabbing the 3 was correct. Like, choosing 3 cards is just correct. Even if you know 2 of them are gonna be land. Heck, that might be exactly what they were looking for. So, all good. All good. All right, search our library for a forest. Let's find a little something. Jetmeter's Garden. Yeah, Jetmeter's Garden. Yeah, red and white. I mean, Zeotor's Proving Grounds, also fantastic. Kind of, you know, can't be mad at it. They only have 1 blue open, so this is probably going to resolve. So let's run them out. Tommy boy, get out here. I'm hoping we can hit Chapter 3 on Binding the Old Gods and actually get value off Chapter 3 of Binding the Old Gods, which is not a given. If you've ever played that card, you know. Alright. Mother flipping Sauron, the mother flipping Dark Lord in the house. Let's see, spin into something good. Something good. World Spell. I'm not mad at that. Let's start at the top. Start from the top. I can reveal a non-saga permanent and put it into my hand. Well, we haven't hit our land drop yet. But at the same time, Atraxa would be insane here. Yeah, Atraxa could be actively insane, and I do like that. Dang, yo. I'm torn. I'm going to do the responsible thing and just take the land and accept that Atraxa is going to be just not happening for the time being. And that's okay. So I can hit there and back again. We can also showdown. You know what? Let's showdown. Let's showdown those Scalds. Yes, you get to amass 1. Enjoy. Yeah, Sauron the Dark Lord is a very potent card. Swan Song? You're gonna Swan Song my showdown. Bruh. That is a smart thing to do, but I'm not happy about it. Alright. Satsuki. Living Lore. Yep. You get to do the thing again, by all means. Go nuts, dog. Alright. Do I swing Tommy and offer the trade? I really don't want to, but at the same time, I can. Because my homies have Death Touch for this turn. Let's see, do they want to take it? Nope. Alright, so my Llanowar Elves does eat their Orc army, but they're gonna rebuild a new one here very soon. So, here we are. Gutter Snipe, sure. Snipe the gutters, what you gotta do. I get it, I get it. Invoke Despair, tight. I'm saying tight, it's not actually tight. We can sack Satsuki, though. We do lose the World Spell, which is a bummer and a half. But when we sack Satsuki, we can get Binding back. So, Sauron has some very upsetting ward text. You know what I'm gonna do? You're gonna get the amass. I'm gonna read ahead on the Elder Dragon War all the way to 3. Because this triggers Tommy. Let's find something. Carter's Vicious Return. I can sack a creature and it'll deal 3 damage to any target. I don't love that. Yeah, that's not really worth it at this point. And let's rock the Keldon Warcaller. Alright. Cool. There we go. Now we got some board presence. Although, actually, we can sacrifice Tommy. Commence the endgame. Sure, this is going to be bad. Draw 2 a mass 2. Yeah, okay. And now their orc army is a zombie because it's a mass zombies. X. We got a 6/6 coming in. And then whenever an army... It just comes down to player, the ring tempts you, and whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand if you do draw 7. So, fiddlesticks. I could double block here. We lose both things, their army dies. Or we could, I don't want to chump with the Keldon Warcaller if I could. I'm actually kind of tempted to double block with the Dragon and Tommy Boy. Yeah, I'm going to offer him this, because this way, yeah, they choose to kill Tom, which is fine. Carter's Vicious Return is going to bring it back. So nope, you stay in the yard, dog. You're good. You're good right there, home slice. So we have to discard a card, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I'll let the goose go? I don't feel strongly about that. But let's throw out of there and back again. So, let's make it so the orc army can't block. And I'm going to make my Keldon Warcaller my ring bearer. So it's going to attack. Alright, and I'm going to uptick Carter's Vicious Return. And that's going to bring back Tommy B, which triggers the resolution, and King Narfi does its thing. And I am 100% exiling Gandalf. Yeah, I think I'll take Satsuki. Yeah, I'm good with that. Alright, cool. So there we go, we're doing things. Things and stuff with a side of crap and junk. It's happening. And the Keldon Warlord, they could have blocked with the Gutter Snipe, but I can't blame them for not wanting to do that. Makes sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. And now our Keldon Warcaller is legendary, which means we can use it to sacrifice, or we can sacrifice it to satisfy Sauron's ward cost. So that's pretty darn cool in my opinion. Alright. Painful Quandary, that sucks. Yeah. Sucks a lot, actually. Yeah, no bueno. We got a 3/3 Menace. I'm not seeing any reason I couldn't double block here. I may end up regretting this. They do have 1 mana back if they had some way to grant it Death Touch. But looks like they don't. So let's go, baby. All right. We're going to grab a mountain. I'm going to grab a Savai Triumph. That seems fine. Now we have access to the Gandalf and Satsuki. I'm going to start things off with the Binding of the Old Gods. Yep, you get your thing. I'm going to discard the big score. I may regret this. I oft do. Well, that's okay. So we do that. Phew. And then we have the mana to do this. I could have discarded Birth of Meletus, I guess. That wouldn't have been a big deal. Actually, I should have. That would have made sense. Alright, so the dragon is going to be going after Angrath. And our Warcaller is going to be going face. Now, it is, once again, it's still a ring bearer. So that's pretty tight. And wait, Tommy Boy has not triggered yet this turn. So I'm gonna go ahead and max there and back again, which triggers Tommy Boy, spinning into Sméagol reaches skyward. I only have one basic forest. I honestly forgot that card was in here. It is kind of whatever. Now they can use the Amass or Gutter Snipe to block my Warcaller, but they choose not to. Keldon Warcaller, by the way, is getting some work done this game. I was pretty quick to dismiss it, but maybe that was incorrect. The One Ring. Doggone it. All right, so this Narfi's Betrayal is going to be ticking over next turn, and it better flippin' tick into a Kami War. That's really what we need. That's the hope. So let's see what happens. Dreadhorde Invasion, that's a great card. Definitely works well with the new Amass stuff. And yeah, now because our opponent played out the One Ring, like one flavor win, big time. But also they have protection from everything until end of turn. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let's just get all the triumphs, just all of them. As you can imagine, we're rocking a 5-color mana base. We got it. We gotta have the triumph. Cure Best of Seagull, we got there. We freaking got there. That's exactly what I needed. Let's go. And I mean, Gandalf is just free money. So yeah, enjoy your orc army. Do it up, dog. It is fine. I don't care. And here comes the Staff of Mother Flippin' Completion. So I believe this will allow us to proliferate on their upkeep. And in so doing, get the sleep effect of Cure Best of Sea God and trigger Tommy Boy. Because Tommy's already triggered this turn. No point in attacking. Unless I want to, yeah, well, Tommy's already triggered, so. I suppose I could attack with the Keldon Warcaller just to flip the Sméagol reaches skyward, but that's not great. So yeah, we're gonna end turn. And then on their upkeep, I'm gonna Staff of Completion, proliferating. And I'm not gonna buff up the Sméagol reaches skyward. I want that to trigger next turn. Let's see what we got. All right, I could have also proliferated their ring, but I don't want them drawing an additional card. That's not worth it. Boom, they're tapped down. That feels great. All right, so creatures have Death Touch. Tommy Boy spinning into a something. Waking the Trolls. I'm both their Command Tower. All right, that's a good hit. That's a damn good hit. I'll take it. All right. So Waking the Trolls, blowing up the Command Tower. I think we got this. Unless they have some way to blink the ring, I'm pretty confident. Because they haven't even drawn for turn yet. And they're already just kind of wrecked. Also, the Dreadhorde Invasion being tapped, I kind of love that. Doesn't really do anything, but it's fun. All right. Yeah, this is looking good. Tom value, baby. Tom value. Yeah, so Staff of Completion being able to proliferate at instant speed. I'm telling you, proliferation at instant speed in this deck is nuts. All right, so yeah, they just flashback Forbidden Alchemy just to find something. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking real good. Honestly, I'm halfway tempted to use Cure Best of Sea God's third trigger. Yeah, I was tempted to use it to actually target Sauron, or Sauron rather, the other one. Steal Sauron, and then the sacrifice, I could sacrifice Smaug and get those 14 treasure tokens. I didn't have enough cards, so it wouldn't have been worth it, but funny idea, right? Anyway, good game, opponent. Good game. All right. So we're going up against Dark Roast, which I love the name, and Astor Bearer of Blades is an excellent commander. There's a high likelihood we are going to get run over very, very fast, but let's see what we can do. I'm more of a medium roast guy myself, but I respect the Dark Roast. I do. Honestly, if I could just handle it, I would drink more of it. I am going to keep this. Going up against a Boros equipment commander could be very, very dangerous here. I am genuinely happy to see self-titled Sheoldred there. If we can rock her out on 5, we're probably going to get a pretty good hit. Elspeth's Nightmare is also just dynamite, and we have the Black Source that we need to really make that successful. So, tight. All right. Assuming they don't buff the ever-loving crap out of Jor Kadeen this turn, which, let's be honest, they probably are. Show me Bone Splitter? No, Akiri. Okay, cool. Yeah. Great. Okay, I can... Yeah, we're golden. This is fine. Fall of Gilgalad, not bad. Yeah, Elspeth's Nightmare, we can pop Jor Kadeen, so we will. That is a card draw outlet I don't want them having access to. And then, well, next turn, unfortunately, we don't have Atraxa because the Cascading Cataracts can't produce colored mana on its own. Winota, turn 4 Winota into a Blade Historian, we're dead. I don't have a board wipe in my hand. That means we're dead. Like, yeah. That was the perfect hit. They could not have scripted that better. Let's go Fall of Gilgalad, but I don't believe it's gonna matter. I mean, cool. Like, I need lands, but I need them in my hand right now, and that's not the case. Is this? I mean, this is enough. This is lethal right here. Yeah, Astor is kind of whatever at this point, honestly. Yeah, the hit a record Bagbuster. That Winota hit was just, that was textbook. So I kept a relatively slow hand against a commander that I knew was going to be delivering early heat. So it was very risky. But boy howdy, they found the perfect spin. That I can't even deny that. Honestly, I'm not mad at that. That was kind of fun to watch. Rock on, good work, opponent. Way to make it happen. Oh, we got the Tommy Mirror match. Let's go. All right. This hand is so almost good, but almost good is not going to get us there. And especially on the play. On the play without a third land, nah, that's too dicey. Well, we only have 2 lands here, but the Contagious Vorak is going to help us find one. Gilded Goose gives us something. Even if we don't find one right away, we still have a play. So, I guess. Now, because of this mana base, it's going to be a little on the slow side. And my cat is bunting my lamp. She seems to enjoy doing that, which is kind of funny. Yes, I'm talking about you. Yeah. I don't know why that's one of her things that she goes to, but she's a fan. So, rock on. All right. And it's funny because she has knocked it over. Sometimes she'll bump the little panel and the settings will change. So all of a sudden, if like my green screen goes wonky, that's probably what's going on. Into the north, that's smart. Our opponent is rocking the Snowlands. Into the north is actually just one of the best ramp spells on Arena right now, so I can't be mad. Honestly, I'm a little frustrated that I didn't think to do that myself, but here we are. Now I can rock the Vorak. We lose the food if we do that, or I can keep Experimental Augury back to make sure we hit another land. Or I can rock out Cankerbloom. That puts power on the board. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to put the power on the board. And next turn, if we don't hit a land, we can Contagious Vorak, go find one. So that's my thought. But yeah, this is power and removal. Cankerbloom is actually really powerful here because they're going to be playing Sagas. And so we can blow up their Sagas at instant speed with the Cankerbloom. So they cycle Z's Proving Grounds. Sure. All right, Vorak, get out here. Plaza of Heroes or the Cataracts. I like both of those actually, but I think I'm gonna take the Plaza. All right, and we rock out the Plaza, and we do have the Experimental Augury back, but honestly, I'd rather wait on that because I don't want to spend the food token just yet because that's Tommy Boy next turn potentially. All right, Eldest Reborn, sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Okay, well, sure, get on out here. Do it up, dog. Yeah, I'll blow that up. I know that doesn't satisfy the sack requirement, but that's okay. I can lose the Vorak and not be too worried about it. All right, and Rafine's Tower, we hit the land, feels good. So that means we have Bombadil next turn. I believe our colors are lined up. I sure hope so with 3 Triumphs in the mix and a Plaza. So we can rock out the Behold just to get a Saga moving because that's something we don't currently have going. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the food to throw down Behold the Unspeakable. And now, depending on how they play it out, my hope is to get Tom Bombadil on the field this next turn. That is the objective, but there's a high likelihood that they're running some kind of interaction and can deal with it. So Let's see what happens. Tommy boy. All right, so yeah, that changes the way that I'm gonna run my turn. Mending looks great. Yeah, so scry 2, draw 2. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take the mending. And we hit the land. Never punished. But yeah, so Shelly comes down, punishes the Tommy boy. Beautiful. Edict effects work great when your opponent is running a few creatures. And we can assert dominance with the goose. Honk honk. Let's go. Alright. So the Vision of the Unspeakable is going to be hitting next turn. Gear up as the Sea God. Best, yeah. Single best saga in every deck it's in. Card's insane. Alright. We can knock out Tommy Boy here. Does not change the number of cards we have in hand. Although we haven't hit our land drop yet, so I'm actually going to throw Birth of Meletus first. I think I have a basic planes in here. Yeah. Let's grab that. Which is funny, because I have Birth of Meletus and Restoration of Aganjo. Like, I should probably have 2 of those. But, it's fine. Alright, Tommy Boy in the house. I could do another goose slap, but I'm gonna hold back. Yeah, so my world is tapped. It's unfortunate. They're probably gonna steal my time now that I think about it. Yeah, bites the big one. Well, let's see. Royal Grazer, sure. So, next turn, I can Experimental Augury, and it will max Birth of Meletus and trigger Tom. So they cast their Tom. Okay. Bash me in the face for 8, like you do. Yeah, yeah. Restoration of Aganjo, I was just talking about you. Alright. Yeah, there's yeah, my cat messing with my settings. Let's see. Do we... Honestly, these... Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. We're doing the Mending of Dominaria. And I'm taking back my Cankerbloom, dang it. Alright, cool. Well... I'm 1 mana shy of being able to drop this and break breaking Kiora. Which is a shame. That would be fantastic. So, yeah, I'm gonna take Atraxa. Gonna proliferate these 2, which is gonna give me a Tommy spin. And I'm really hoping we get something good here. The Bat Sonic, that's not what I needed at all. Not even close, actually. Awesome. Alright, cool. Yep. I've got the Vorak back to our hand. I don't have anything to do with 1 mana, so I might as well just drop the Ketria Triumph. Here comes the Kiora trigger. It looks like they are Iron Sheldred, which is not a bad call. I'm also really grateful for the Birth of Meletus here because it gave us the wall. So that's going to be able to prevent 8 damage. No, they're going to take the Visions, damn it. That's not good. And they spun to a Fable. That's a fine hit. That's a fine hit, opponent. I can't be mad. I'm not happy, but I can't be mad. Duress, okay. Looks like, yeah, easy. The Elspeth's Nightmare of the World spell is the only hits. Yeah. That's actually not a bad hit, because I would have been able to read ahead on World Spell, drop Atraxa, and, I don't know, Vorak, maybe? I don't know. Instead, I'm just going to play out Atraxa and Cankerbloom, probably. Per usual, or as normal, and is what it is. Alright. So, our board presence is not terrible here. That Kiora Best of Sea God really messed me up. It really messed me up. No question. Yeah, Time Board can go on top. Yeah. That bite's a pretty big one. Yeah, that bite's a really big one, actually. Alright. And yes, I will put Tom Bombadil in my hand. Alright. I'm gonna draw 2 cards. And wait, this is return all land cards from graveyard to the battlefield and shuffle your graveyard into your library. Cool. Well, I'll just discard this land then. I'm gonna pay 2 life. I want access. Alright. Tommy! Get out here. And then Traxa as well in the mix. And we're not gonna land worlds, just for good measure. Nobody do anything. Tommy hasn't triggered yet. So yes, we are gonna proliferate the Bath Song. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'm gonna add 2 to my mana pool, but I don't have anything to spend it on. Elspeth Conquers Death. Staff of Completion or Bombadil are both phenomenal targets. Fable is also Fable with the Kraken, because the Fable represents a Tom Bombadil trigger next turn. There we go, got it. So Fable represents a Tom Bombadil trigger next turn, and it would put Kiki Jiki online. If Kiki Jiki and that 8/8 Kraken are both live simultaneously, I am big screwed. So we were able to turn the corner. We were able to hang on. That Cure SSC got early, really roughed us up. But the truth is, we were able to just get card advantage because of the sagas that we played, and we managed to pull it off somehow. I'll take it. No complaints. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I know on YouTube that is sometimes asking a lot because there's a lot of great stuff out there, and I'm honored that you just decided to spend the last however many minutes with me. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I also want to give a huge thank you and a huge shout out to my patrons over on patreon.com/HamHocks42 who make videos like this possible. Their names are displayed here, and you, dear viewer, can be amongst them for as little as $1 a month. And I, of course, would like to give a huge shout out as well to my mythic patrons at the $10 level, and those folks are Angry Jellyfish, Bunyip, L79, Carl Ligon, Ryan, Vailrith, X of Most Trades, and Yuck Foozy. Thank you so much. Y'all rock. I'll catch you on the next one.